I've had a really long history with shame, and I've done a lot of exploration on this specific topic. Shame lives in the shadows. When you're deep into it, there are a lot of things you keep hidden, a lot of secrets, and just stuff that you don't want to be discovered by other people. And as I've been walking on the spiritual journey and healing journey, a really big part of healing shame is radical honesty, radical authenticity, radical vulnerability, really letting all the things that I was deathly afraid of people seeing be seen. There's definitely immense power in that, and most of the time, I think that is the key to unlocking shame. However, today I discovered that sometimes there's a nuance to situations, and you really have to check in with yourself, with your higher wisdom. What is the most productive thing for you to practice/learn right now? And I'll give you a very concrete example. So, there are two different things in my life that I had to make a decision on. The first one was sending a message to my partner, my ex-partner, to tell him about something I felt like maybe hasn't been fully transparent. Maybe I've tried to be transparent, but I don't know, I just felt like I needed to say it straight up, just so that I know for a fact there isn't anything that I'm hiding or keeping from the conversation. But the thing is, the relationship has ended and we've both decided to move on. So it's kind of like it's not going to change anything. Perhaps it could make things worse, because I thought there's a high chance that he would react very negatively and lash out or blow up, which I was very scared to face that reaction. So, there was an internal tug of war of should I say something? Should I just, let it go? But then ultimately, I decided that I should tell him, not because I need to, but more for myself, because I am very committed to showing up with honesty, with authenticity, and with courage. And also, it was important for me to learn how to detach from his reactions. So if he were to lash out and reject me and call me names, I can just breathe through that and accept that. And so with that situation, I felt like telling him would be the highest growth for my soul at this point. The other situation involves a friend that I'm staying with temporarily right now. And she had this bag of cacao in the fridge, and it looked really good. So I took it out and I cut like a little tiny sliver of it, like this much. And I tried it. And right after that, I felt guilty, because in my past, I've done things like steal from a store. I've also stolen food from my old roommates when I was really struggling with an eating disorder. I ate a lot of their food. So I think the guilt and the shame from that kind of got triggered in that moment of I'm like, oh shoot, I ate something that's hers without asking. And I immediately felt really, really bad. So I decided to send her a text, but I was too scared to say, hey, I had some of your cacao without asking you. I'm so sorry. But instead I said, hey, is it okay if I have some of your cacao? And of course, like, she said, yeah, of course, go for it. And like, that's what I expected. But at the same time, I still feel like this uncomfortable feeling of, oh, but I didn't tell her the full truth, which is that I had already done that before asking her. And then now I'm at the decision of, okay, do I tell her or do I not tell her? And I think it would be easy for me to jump into a conclusion of, oh, I need to tell her, of course. I'm so committed to being honest and authentic now. That's the right answer. But when I fell into this whole thing deeper, and with my relationship as well, I think there's a bit of a pendulum swing to the other extreme. Whereas before, maybe I kept a lot of things hidden and I did not want to risk being vulnerable or risk being rejected. Now I swing to the other extreme where I demand absolute perfection for myself. If I ever do like the slightest thing that can be perceived as dishonest, I feel guilty. And when I really explore that, it's like, okay, I have this deeper belief that I'm bad, and therefore I need to prove constantly that I'm good by being honest, like 100%. And whenever I'm not, like even just like the tiniest thing, I beat myself up and I'm bad, I'm guilty, blah, 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 blah. And if I choose to tell my friend, because I know she could care less about this much of her cacao, it's really not for her. It's more to like relieve my own feelings of guilt and to receive acceptance from her of like, okay, look, I've told you, I'm so honest. Like, please give me affirmation that I'm good and that, you know, I'm still worthy and I'm a good person. But if I choose to not tell her, what I have to practice here is self-forgiveness and being okay with making mistakes and giving myself grace, being soft with myself. And in this situation, I think she is not harmed in any way, shape, or form by this circumstance because she already gave me permission and I literally had like this much of her cacao. So it really doesn't matter if I tell her or not. But what matters in this particular situation is like how do I view myself? What is my relationship with myself? And what do I believe about me as a person? Do I believe I need to constantly prove my worth? Do I believe I need other people to affirm and validate my worth and my goodness? Whereas in the first situation with my partner, I feel like maybe if I didn't fully disclose, then energetically, like, he's affected by it as well. Like, of course, he deserves to know the truth. He deserves honesty. So it's like a bit of a different situation. And the stakes are much higher in the first situation. Like, facing rejection from him and the potential backlash from telling him that, it's much, much greater than this other situation with my friend. So I picked bravery authenticity and honesty where it counted. And with this other situation, I realized it's a different answer. With this situation, I get to practice softness, grace, and self-forgiveness. So I felt really inspired to make this video and share about these experiences because it really is so nuanced, and you have to check in with yourself of what is the situation really trying to teach me, instead of just jumping on what you feel like is the right move. And really check within that, are you doing the right thing out of another limiting belief? Like in this case, am I trying to be honest because deep down I believe I'm bad and I need to like redeem myself? So I don't want to act from that either. I want my honesty, authenticity to come from a very pure place of I want to be authentic because I want to be, and it's what feels good to me, not because I need to run away from my badness, if that makes sense. So yeah.